Hello, friends, and you're welcome back to the channel. Good morning. It's beautiful to have you here. So we'll continue in our discourse. We're looking at applications, areas where we apply biotechnology, knowledge of biotechnology, where are the areas that we apply them, we use them, and what makes them important. Now, the first area we'll talk about is in the area of medicine. In the area of medicine, we use biotechnology for quite a number of things. And I'll just run through some of the things that we use biotechnology for in the area of medicine. One, there's the issue of what we call personalized medicine. Now, medicine is moving in the direction where the therapies and the interventions science wants those therapies to be targeted at the individual. The idea being that, medicine wants to move away from a one size fits all model where if you're suffering from malaria, if you're suffering from any disease, cancer, cardiovascular disease, they have just one or a couple of procedures that they run on everyone. No, medicine wants to move towards running personalized medicine, in which the idea behind personalized medicine is that the genetic makeup of the individual is sequenced and his information is used to tailor healthcare for his direct needs. So patients are treated on an individual basis, person to person basis, and then each person's genetic composition is taken, and then the information from that genetic composition is used to tailor procedures and interventions for that particular individual. That's what personalized medicine is, and that biotechnology is helping to drive this area of science and medicine. So very, very important for us to know. Then there's gene therapy. So, in gene therapy, you want to use gene sequences to create effective change for people who are suffering from one illness or the other. So, there are trials going on. There's some breakthrough, for diseases such as sickle cell anemia, diseases such as hemophilia. The idea is to use genes, sequences of genes to be able to effect change in the individual that is sick by either replacing the gene that is faulty or knocking out the gene that is faulty or, muting the gene that is currently faulty. So that's an area where biotechnology is helping to make medical science really much better. There is also the issue of biopharmaceuticals. So a lot of drugs that are being produced today, medications, there's a lot of biotechnology involved in the industrial side of producing all these drugs. When you have all these your big pharma companies, your SmithKline, your Glasgow, all these big companies, they make use of a lot of biotechnology. They generate a lot of data. They use this data and use their knowledge of biology and genes, and computer to work together to create better medicines and better outcomes. We also have what we call the CRISPR-Cas technology, which is what we refer to as gene editing technology, which is part of the new things that are coming up in science, or not too old, but there are things that are coming up in science where you have tools that are used for gene editing to be able to, the idea behind it all is to be able to get desirable results, to be able to look at an organism and modify the organism in such a way that you have a better organism with more desirable traits, a more resilient organism, a stronger organism that can, withstand different environmental factors. So all of this gene editing technology is also used for humans, to be able to bring about change in genetic sequence in humans in order to have a human with better outcomes, in order to cure some certain diseases. So these are some of the applications of biotechnology in the area of medicine. We also have biotechnology being applied in the area of agriculture. So when you have your genetic modified organisms, your genetic modified foods, these are all examples of areas where knowledge of the gene has been used to modify different kinds of food. And the idea is to create food products that are better than what they were before, more resilient to insect attack, more nutritious, richer in different vitamins, different elements that are needed for human health. So a lot of these food are being worked upon. Of course, later on we'll talk about the fact that there are ethical issues and social issues that surround a lot of these things. In the area of agriculture, genetically modified food, genetically modified organisms, your biopesticides, many pesticides, many herbicides have been worked upon using knowledge of biotechnology, to make them better, to make them more productive, more potent in what they do. And this is important to note. We also have biofertilizers that are being used, fertilizers that have been worked on in such a way to make them much better, to make their yield better, to make their output better. These are all ways in which biotechnology is helping to make life really better. There's also marker assisted selection. Marker assisted selection, it's an important part of what biotechnology does. And the idea behind marker assisted selection is that biotechnology wants to be able to identify particular markers, that's particular genes that code for favorable characteristics, especially in plants. So if you have plants, you have characteristics, genes that code for different characteristics in plants, making the plant more resilient, making it stronger to insect attack, making it drought resistant, making it able to use little water to grow. All of these things are involved in are coded for on different genes. So when we talk about marker assisted selection, this is the work of biotechnology in trying to identify the particular markers, the particular genes that are responsible for these desirable traits, and then sequencing them, cloning them, and using them to make different or newer organisms that are better equipped. So that's in the area of agriculture. We've talked about in the area of medicine. We've talked about in the area of agriculture. We can also talk a little bit about in the area of industrial application. Biotechnology is used a lot in industry, and it ties all around production of vaccines, production of pharmaceuticals, production of biofertilizers. All these things are industrial processes, and you have biotechnology at the base of all of this. You also even have an enzyme production. Enzymes are produced in large quantities because enzymes are used for many purposes, especially in the industry, in wine making, in alcohol making, cheese making. Many of all these food products and beverages need enzymes, especially when they are being produced on a large industrial scale. So biotechnology does the work of identifying these enzymes, coding for the genes that code for these enzymes, which we know are proteins. Some of them are proteins, and then working to make sure that the best of the enzymes are used, discovering the conditions under which it is important, or conditions under which the enzymes will function more optimally, to get better yield for whatever it is you are doing with the enzymes. So these are all things that biotechnology does, and it's quite important to note. We also know that it's important to understand that biotechnology also has application in the environment. So wastewater treatment, this is wastewater treatment, bioremediation. These are issues. Bioremediation, you have a lot of environmental hazards that are occurring in the environment, spillage of different kinds, chemical spillage, oil spillage. All these things can cause serious harm and damage to the environment. And it's important to realize that you can use or we use our knowledge about technology to bring change in all these areas, to bring remediation, to bring restoration to the environment. So, and also in wastewater treatment, a lot of treatment has to be done for wastewater that is being generated in homes, in industries, in hospitals, and all of this. And to keep the society healthy, there's a need to use knowledge of biotechnology to work on all these wastewater treatment plants to make sure that they work well. And this is important. So it's important to note that biotechnology is not abstract, it's not science that is abstract, it's science that has daily use and application, and in different areas of our life. Thank you for listening to this. Do well to subscribe to this channel, do well to try and learn from these things, share with your friends, encourage them. We are building a community of scientists. We're building a community of scientists who, have nitty-gritty knowledge, have in-depth knowledge of science, to make our society better, to make Nigeria and Africa much better, and our society at large. Thank you for listening, and do have a beautiful, beautiful day.